Hello everybody and welcome to this breakdown, this little tutorial on how to dispense any amount of items. Basically, it'll work for up to 5 stacks of items that you could have dispensed technically from all of these different designs that we're going to take a look at here. But one thing that this is a re-recording of the original introduction. So one thing that I forgot to mention was that all of these devices here, if you just replace the dropper, so these are all droppers in here because we're going to be spitting out items, but just say you replace the dropper with the note block. There's already some note blocks in these designs, by the way, but if you replace it with a note block or with something else, you are powering a device X times. So it doesn't matter what device that you want to dispense from or whatever it is. If you want to play a sound, if you want it to happen X amount of times, if you want it, whatever the thing is, this is how you trigger it. So you can just replace the dropper that you see behind me here with any other block and it'll do that thing the same amount of times. So let's jump right into it. So a couple of days ago, my buddy wrote to me and he was like, hey, I want to build B-Dub's potion dispenser thing, and we can get rid of all these. And yeah, he said he needs 9 bottles, so I made him 9 bottles, and then I thought to myself, well, maybe other people have a thing where they need 9 bottles, or they need whatever amount of things, so let's make a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, a number 4, a number 5, and so on all the way down. So let's do that right now. You are scaring me, even though I'm in creative. So, you need 1 item dispensed. Wow! 1 item dispensed. 63, here is 1, we did it, beautiful, put it back, gorgeous, love it. You need 2 items dispensed. So I'm just going to show off the redstone, I'm not actually going to build them for you. You can see this is an observer, and what happens is the observer notices the button being pressed, and then it notices it popping back out again, and so it shoots 2 items out. So if we push, 1, 2, easy peasy, 2 items, there was a stack, now there's 2 missing, happy days, easy peasy. Right, on to number 3. I thought when I walked towards him there that he oh, he does, he raises his eye line to lock eyes with you for a sec. That's real creepy. Creepery. Sorry. Okay, so number 3, this one uses a piston popping up in front of the observer to trigger it a weird number of times. So if you want 3 items, you push the button, and then it does a pow, 1 more at the end. So we've left 61 in the thing, and we've 3 in our hands. Beautiful. Put that back. That's 1, 2, and 3. So I'll show you that again. This is absolutely not the only way that you can do this, by the way. You can do this lots of other ways. I'm just showing you some examples. I did want to demo using falling sand. So we'll take a look at this version of it because making this work, I use falling sand over here, which is what gives you 8 bottles, and then this falling sand gives you the 9th bottle in your hand. So you can use sand that falls in front of the observer to make it trigger 1 more time after the action. So let's push this. And because the sand, this is this design again, by the way, but we've put sand in front of the face, and instead of it firing 3 times like this one did, it fires 4 times, and that's because the sand, after the 3rd pulse, the sand falls down in front of the observer. I was about to say deserter observer, and powers that. But you can also do that. This is a duplicate. This is a 4, and this is a 4. So if we do this, you get 4 items. The type of button that you use is super important, by the way. If you push a wooden button, it will stay on for much longer. If you push a stone button, it will stay on for a shorter amount of time. So you can see that shot out 4 as well, and this will give me 4. So I have 8 in the end. There you go, there's 8. I'll just put half of them back. So we have a full stack, and a full stack again. So this is your 4. This is the button going in. It powers the dust, and then pushes up the observer into here and into here. If you want to power it a 5th time, you have the observer facing into this one. So in our example, the moving observer is this one here, but in this example, the moving observer is this one here, and the difference that makes is 1 extra pulse. So we've got 64 in there, as with all the other examples, and we're gonna get 5 this time. And that's because this detects the final movement of this away from the face as well, which gives you an extra pulse. So instead of having 64, we've got 59 now for a total of 5, which means that is working perfectly. And then, like I said, if you want to add 1 to it, just put a block of sand on it and it'll add 1 more pulse because it'll detect the falling down in front of it. So it'll detect this moving down and this falling down. So we have 64 in there as usual. Push the button. And 6 this time. Happy days. So this is the exact same design as it was before, but you've just added a sand block to make +1 actions taken. Then on to number 7. What's the difference here? There's a little bit of delay here. So there's a 4 tick delay on this. And when we push it, you can see, bum, 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 7, ta-da! So this is how you would get 7 items out of it. So we've 57, sorry, 64. But now for number 8, we're swapping from a stone button to a wooden button here. So that's very important. Do make sure that you use a wooden button or this will not work. Again, there's 64 in the dropper. Push the button. Boo, boo, boo. What do we have? We've got 8 left over. Happy days. So you put that in there and you've got your 8. Geez, I really complicated that 9 over here, didn't I? Can I just do this? Let's do this for 9. So we'll put this back in. Alright, so we've got 63, so we're going to convert this into a 9er. Ah, yeah, use this design instead. This guy's crazy over here. Look at this. That's so unnecessary. So yeah, just add a sand block to this one to make it 9, and the big difference is the wooden button that keeps it on for longer, that keeps it pulsing for longer. These are different varieties of the 9. These will all give you 9 blocks. Let me just fill this up and fill this up, and then we'll destroy everything in our inventory. So we push this. This should be 9. 64 and 9. Yeah, beautiful. Or 64. Yeah. And then in here we've got 64 and we push it. Also 9. Happy days. So now we're going to start getting into the bigger numbers. What are we going to do here? Well, if you take a look at this one, this slightly mucho bigger one, which hopefully I'll refine down in a later stage, you would put your items into here. So we want to dispense these in here, and also we want to dispense 13. Let's go 14. You want 14 items dispensed. You put 14 into the hopper here, and you push the button. $14 items. Happy days. So you can return them back to here or whatever you need to do. And I suppose I will actually do a tutorial for this one right now, because it's not the simplest thing to build just by looking at it. Okay, so it's daytime again, and basically what we are going to do is do up our example here. So we're going to make an etho hopper clock. I'm going to build this 1 level higher than I did, so it's not recessed into the floor like it is over here, right? So we're going to do a block, and you have to shift and click in order to make these face into each other. If you don't know how to make an etho hopper clock, you can look that up, where there's one on the channel. If you put 2 comparators coming out of it, and then blocks on top, and you can put a block here, I suppose, and a block here. We're going to get rid of them in just a second. And one side, you're going to have a sticky, and this is the side kind of that you want the items to come out of. So let's actually put the sticky over here so the items come out this side, right? And we'll put a regular piston on this side, and that is very, very, very important. Next up, we're going to put down a piston over here and then throw in, let's say, 14 items, because that's how many we want to have dispensed out here. And then you're going to remove the temporary blocks. We just put them there so that we could place the pistons against them, and then put down this here and this here. You can actually, if you want to be really tidy, you can get rid of these blocks here as well, so you're just left with this nice little skeleton. And now if we make a line come out of this right here, out of the redstone, so that just caused a block update. That'll go away in just a second, so after 14 seconds, yeah. And now our hopper is locked. So I'm gonna put our dropper about here in this spot. This is our dropper. going in here, and then we're going to have a hopper going in here, and this is where your items would go in, right? So we're going to put a stack of items in there, and what will happen is they get stuck in this locked hopper here, and for as many for as many items as you put in this hopper here, it will release that many items into the dropper, and then they'll all get spat out to you. So then the next step is to go down here a little bit, and we want to put a comparator coming out of here, put that into a block, put that into a dust, spin around, put that into a block, put that into a repeater, put that into a dust, and then I need a target block. Oops. And I need a target block to connect up that redstone to here. And all you need now is a button. It doesn't matter what button you use, it just needs to cause a block update to here. So if we push the button now, I actually already picked up one of those accidentally, so we'll count that together in the total. And you can see I got 14 blocks right there. And if I change this to 7, you can use it for any amount, and then I'll actually get rid of these. So there's only 7 in here, and I've none in my inventory, and I push this button. Oh, yeah, and there's number 7. So that's how it works. So if you ever need to build basically dispense me exactly this amount of items, it will do that for you. I'm sure you could make this a lot smaller, but it was just kind of a first draft for an idea that I came up with. This is the bottle dispenser one that I showed off at the start of the video. These are some boring attempts and stuff. I was trying it with water. I was done. The video was done. It was all edited. It's uploaded. It's scheduled for release. And then I realized, you know what? I kind of lied a little bit. So in the title and in the thumbnail, I said, how can I trigger my device 120 times or whatever? With this device, technically, you actually can't trigger your device 120 times. It will dispense you 120 items if you want, but it will not trigger your device 120 times. So I made an alteration to it so that it actually will, and we can see that in action here. Look, it's the same thing, but it's just facing in here. You can see the direction of the hoppers. I'm not going to build it. This hopper is still locking this, this redstone is still locking this hopper. We've removed the gap, and it's going around in a loop instead, and you can fill this up completely if you want, and then it will pulse this. So how many items have I put in? There's 16, so we're going to hear 16 no block pulses here, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and it stops. And then it takes a second to refill itself, and you can't trigger it again. If you do, it won't trigger the right amount of times. And then you can put in, if you want to put in 32. So yeah, this is how you update this thing to do that. It's the exact same circuit, but instead of it being facing the same direction, they're facing into each other to create this kind of item loop that will cause this block. And this is the block that you want to take the read from here. Well, lost camera control. This is the block that you want to take the read from here. This will pulse every time an item comes in here, and then it'll get ejected shortly afterwards. So yeah, this is how you do pulse your device as many times as you want, up to 320 times if you like. So yeah, thanks very much for tuning in and watching. I hope this was straightforward and useful, and you get to build one of these in your world. You have a good time with dispensing exactly the amount of items that you need. Cheers, all the best. Thank you, bye bye.